So, Nathan, trudging back once more through the streets of Six Tower, the eyes of the forgotten and hopeless watching you pass from various doorways and derelict, abandoned structures, some condemned. And as you walk towards the south of the district and out of the fog emerges the familiar shape of Crumble Tower Court. Getting closer, you see that the door itself is purely there as a decorative feature, long since fallen off hinges, just been put in place, belongs and now sits at a slight angle, leaning against the frame. From within, you hear voices, some shouting, some laughing. The multiple sets of footsteps clatter through the building, echoing an empty hull of what it once was.
I do even though it is kind of pointless with the door, hanging off of its hinge, Nathan is still a decent person and at least, slams the backside of his fist against it a couple of times, knocking.
Sort of rocks back and forth a little bit. And moments later, it's open. It's sort of lifted back, and a girl of about 18 or 19 looks at you, sort of holding the door ajar. What?
Well, I just had a very interesting conversation with somebody in Six Tower Precinct. They said they had some friends here that were willing to assist.
It's a brief moment as she kind of goes, begins to go rather unsanctimoniously brushing you off. However, it's another hand kind of reaches in at the top of the door and kind of side and goes, wait. As the first girl kind of steps back and another one appears, red-haired, kind of hair hanging down over her face. Unfortunately, she's... The first girl stands back and goes, okay. So you've got some kind of interest then?
Purely informational. They have information that I need. They are not willing to divulge it until they're set free. Since there was already apparently plans in the works of getting them out, I'm willing to offer my services. I'm not looking for a cut, if there's even a cut to be had. I just want my information.
Step inside.
Nathan steps inside.
They pull the door back, and as you step in, it's Jessa, the evidently the sort of one of the ringleaders here. Just sort of leans in and goes, "Just keep your hands in your pockets. Trust me." As
Nathan, he keeps his hands in his pockets.
First thing you notice is one of the younger prepubescent looks at her pockets from the foot of the stairs.
You've cut out.
Six around one of the girls, probably one of the younger ones, at least sort of 12, 13, certainly prepubescent, sort of looks at you, this string hanging of 7 or 8 pocket watches just off it, and just kind of like you can see her eyeing for any vulnerability. And it's Jess who turns. Camille, don't think about it. Turns back to the other one, the one that's been more receptive to you. Your guest, you talk to him. She goes off and kind of ushers away the younger one. As there's the red-haired girl kind of looks around and just bellows of Squirrel! Like the boy, Squirrel, 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 echoes around the building.
But yes, echoing back.
You got help! Help!
Okay. Jeez.
Sorry, so you broke up a little bit then. I just didn't catch. Shouted.
Yeah, she's just screaming that she's coming. Like, give her a sec.
There's footsteps that kind of there's one set that kind of start bigger. The second story kind of climb down, jumping over a and eventually kind of arrives at the ground floor level with you.
So Squirrel arrived or not?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. As the other girl kind of sits back, just kind of like sits next to that what passes for her front, resting her hands on her knees.
So, just you and I?
I'll be nearby, but only if I'm needed.
You're sure about this guy?
Showed up on the door. Literally what we were talking about. Seems a little bit, you know. Either he's a narc, which I somehow doubt, or there's something else at work.
She turns to Nathan and asks, "So what's your thing?" What?
My thing? Well, not that it's going to be needed right now, but I'm a doctor. Should that be required later, we'll have to see on that. However, and it's at this point that, still keeping his hands in his coat pockets, he kind of spreads out the inside of his coat to show the explosives on the inside of it. Or alchemical ingredients, etc. That could be explosive for all Squirrel knows.
Yeah, Squirrel's face just lights up. Okay. Cool.
So, let's just say I know my way around a workbench. And I need information.
Okay, I take back what I said. We can keep him.
Told you. Something's going on. I'm not usually one to believe in, you know, that mystical stuff. This just seemed too strange, you know. Too strange to ignore.
I've had I kind of look over at her. I've had my own share of that recently. But I'm good to my word. I don't want... If there's any payment, I'm not interested in it. I just want my information.
We got coin, but that goes to the belt. Simple as.
So... Shall we, Squirrel, was it?
And I'm going to call you... Big man. Shut away!
I'm
Chop, chop!
Nathan kind of sighs and begins to make his way following Squirrel, who I'm assuming is quite a bit faster than him. Given probably an age gap of, what, 40 years?
And as a rather unlikely pair head through the district, considering a plan, coming up with ideas, talking things over, which will make an engagement roll. First question, is this plan overly daring?
Yes. I don't think I need to explain that.
Tier 3 organization. That's absolutely fine. 1, 2, so that's 2. Does this...
You cut out again.
Oh, so I'm really sorry about this. Does this plan explosive
Cut out halfway through again. But, honestly, I don't know how often the blue coats get hit like this with explosives and the like. So, I don't think they're gonna be expecting it. As for hitting them where they're weak, no, that's a definite no.
Say those two probably counter each other, so no
Yeah.
can any allies provide assistance?
I don't see how a blood dealer's gonna help us here.
I don't have any ally.
Immediately.
You've got
I was gonna say immediately fill out the blue coat as your ally.
Thinking that
actually got,
like
it should be Telda.
Oh no, you have the beggar.
I love the beggar. I don't think Apatura's had the pleasure either.
No, I don't think she had.
We could send the beggar for a distraction, maybe.
Yeah, while we're running, she stops and starts begging them for coin, gets in their way. Exactly.
I like it. We'll do it. Are there any other factors or the...
I don't have any.
Higher tier, so that's down by 1.
It'd be down by 2, wouldn't it? Because they're tier 3, we're tier 1.
I think it's only just 1 per for being a higher tier. Tier 2 or tier 5 is...
I'll confirm that.
Yeah, you can if you...
But we'll go with that, and then I'll confirm it, and we'll correct ourselves later should the need arise, or once we get the actual ruling. Let's just go on, because it's going to take me a little bit to look.
Okay. You still got the 6 on 2. How are you doing this as the fog rolls in and the glimmer of light appears over the horizon as night sets in? The streets begin to empty. as this strange hour rolls on by.
Well, I think the immortal words of this particular score are going to be, it starts with explosions. As explosive devices, I don't remember how much you heard of our actual plan here, but our plan was, explosions are going to rip a hole open into the cells. All of them. So we're releasing everybody, so there's not a trace of this was a specific target of one person.
Absolutely. And what's your approach here? It's assault.
Assault?
That has to be.
Yep.
And what's your low?
I'm going in heavy.
Squirrel?
I'm going in medium.
Medium. Heavy. As dust fills, brickwork scatters out into the several birds can be heard cawing as they take disruption of this strange silence. Air fills with rubble, and it takes a moment where no one's quite sure what's happened. You feel the ground. What item did you use to do that as well?
So, would you allow this to be taken underneath fine wrecking tools?
Oh.
Because it's certainly a wrecking instance, but if not, I can still make do with that being a no.
What's the difference between wrecking tools and
Demolition. I know
demolition. Demolition is blunt. It's like hammers.
Yeah, I know demolition would work.
Yeah. We'll do wrecking tools.
Fine wrecking tools. A specialized set of tools for sabotage and destruction, a small powerful drill, a mallet and steel spikes, pry bar, an electroplasmic battery, clamps, wires, vials of acid, and a spark torch, and a fuel tank.
Fuel tank, yeah, that'll do it. First figure to sort of bust out is you see a very heavy set figure sort of throwing on a eelskin jacket over a tank top, multiple blood spatters on it, and you just sort of see him face kind of covered in dust, and as plaster kind of clings to his clothing, as he jumps out and essentially slides down the pile of and drops into the street. There's the what have we got? Yes. What would you like to do?
As soon as the person that we want to save becomes visible, grabbing them and we're getting the hell out. We gotta go.
The pealing whistles of bluecoats, the barking of dogs begins to echo in the streets around you as the debris settles, and she emerges from a sort of half-destroyed section of wall, kind of climbing over fallen bricks. Let's get this thing started with a roll. Whatever you'd like to do to make your chase.
Squirrel, would you like to lead this? Make this a
Do
group.
a team action. You can do group action, or you could assist, whatever you like.
I feel like group action here because this feels like a finesse roll, and I have 0, so like.
Finesse or prowl would work.
I have twin prowl if you.
Okay, I will go ahead and attempt to roll my 0 prowl. Risky standard?
It is, yes, because you did get a 6 on your engagement, so increases the effect. So rather than starting off with this, usually be desperate.
2. You're gonna take 1 point of stress because I failed.
Still need.
Yeah, I'm going to push myself on.
Okay, so you take 2 stress and a bonus die.
Six.
Oh, very nice. You're able to. First thing you do is, rather than kind of heading back to anywhere out of the district, disappear into the shadows of nearby. As the voices, you hear the raised voices and the cry go out between the blue coats as they call down the street to one another. There's the snarling and growling of dogs, as of the moment unseen. And you, now 3 of you, wait in a side alley, all of you holding your breath expectantly.
So Nathan, kind of underneath his breath, and he goes, Phase 1 done. Phase 2, get the hell out of Dodge.
Blow up something next.
So, what did you say, Squirrel?
She whispers to Nathan, Can I blow up something next, please?
You know what? Just in the interest of narrative here, Nathan produces a bandolier and hands it to her. For the GM, this is actually the quick change thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll find some fun stuff on this. And with that, I think Nathan is going to start heading down the alley and start making his way slowly away from the district. He is currently clutching something in his hand. And I think I'll go ahead.
Maybe the check is, yeah. At the end, you see you see shadows thrown up against the wall of the blue coat, who's barely restraining the dog, which kind of keeps like lunging forward, pulling itself up.
And with that, he's going to take what's in his hand and slam it against the wall. I'm going to roll wreck. And I'm going to push myself here, so I get an extra die. This is risky standard, I'm guessing.
What are you attempting to do with this wreck?
Ghost ward. I'm wrecking... You know how to wreck an area with arcane substances and methods.
If it's the one I'm thinking of...
It's my special ability.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just going to check something.
And the way it's worded is it is bolded in the book, so I have to use wreck.
Yes. I just want to see something. Okay, yes. So, what are you looking here?
I'm gonna draw spirits to this area. I'm gonna create mass chaos here.
Absolutely, go for it.
Alright, so risky standard?
Yes. Certainly is.
And I pushed myself, so I get a bonus die. Thanks. I'm glad I pushed myself.
Oh, very nice. As the dog that was baying to get, probably kind of had the scent of you, and it suddenly hunkers down. It like drops onto all four legs, pushing back. You see all this in the shadow, and this what was aggressive snarling turns to cowering and whimpering as you hear the Bluecoat's voice kind of echo it. What are you doing? Animals. As you hear, yeah, as it kind of wrenches the train out. So, Apatura, here we are. As the dog cowers and hunkers back, running away from the Bluecoat, what would you like to do?
So there's no more Bluecoats around, right?
There's Bluecoats, but the dog that had draws in close and.
Okay, you're cutting like a lot.
The Bluecoats are still around, but the dog has now.
Okay. So what I was thinking to do was just grab the lady by the arm and just crawl in the shadows, as much out of sight as I can. And if any Bluecoats like seem to notice that something is happening, just divert their attention with the bandolier that Nathan gave me.
Okay, make me a check.
Just gonna start with a prowl check. A normal one.
Normal, yeah.
The curse continue with a different.
Oh, there we go. As you duck into another side street, there's a moment as you emerge from the shadows, and a big, heavy-set Bluecoat. You just see a silhouette, custodian hats, and entering in this like steps at the. Both of you lock up for a moment before he realizes what's going on and starts running to. And rather than kind of going in close, he pulls out a Knight's Billy Club and just throws it. Would you like to take armor or resist, or both?
To take armor.
Okay. So would you like to resist as well?
Yeah.
So could you roll me prowess, please? And you take 2 stress.
Okay.
As you bat it away, stopping it from catching you. Is a very accurate shot. However, he is now running towards you. I would like you to make me a desperate.
Desperate action.
Yes.
What would it be to throw explosive in his direction?
Finesse or wreck or even skirmish.
Finesse and skirmish are the same for me. So what I'm going to do? Let's be reckless. It's a one-shot character. It's desperate. So I'm going. What would be the consequence for? Oh, maybe. I'm going to take a devil's bargain on that one, if that's possible.
So +1 to your roll.
Okay.
However, it will close off the nearest avenue of escape. So you'll lose 2 pieces of your escape.
Okay. So it's a +1 to my normal roll, or is
Plus
it
one to your roll, yeah.
or is it a bonus dice?
It's a bonus die, yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm never really sure with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, very nice.
Okay.
As he gets towards you, the nearest tumbles down. You just see there's a and looking in the hole. There's a man who's just sat where his table once was, still holding a knife and. And there's the air fills with dust. As once again bricks and mortar block the road ahead of you. As the blue coat, you see him just kind of like picking himself up. Evidently, he went down hard. You just see him; he's like picking himself up. The blue coat now turns to a pale white with plaster and dust clinging to every inch of his body.
Okay. It was way stronger than what I was expected, but that was awesome. Okay, let's go.
Turning round, running back. And ducking into another side of the. Ooh, let's say make me another check and see how this goes. As you.
Smile again.
Yeah. Just drop the pen. How do you do on that one?
6. I have 2 dots, so it's the high.
Oh yeah. Very cool. So yes, the alleyway kind of opens up before you as you hear the last cries that echo in the alleyways as you're able to lose them in this kind of web way of narrow streets, and quite often throwing yourself in places that you think most people would think would be too narrow for you to squeeze. And bringing you out into a large kind of central courtyard, surrounded on all sides by various buildings, all of them providing ample cover. Let's do a final check. Get to that last bit of the getaway, see how it goes.
Okay, one last one. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to do it, as you
Okay, so
see and hear shadow being lit in an attempt to track you down for one last.
Okay, and since it's the last one, I'm going to push myself one last time. Oof.
As you drop out and away from the district, you and her both leaving the majority of mayhem behind you. All that stands between you and hobbling after you as you're able to get away from the majority of the action. One last threat remains, and bearing down on you with a moving quite fast despite severe limit is the dust-covered form as of the big blue coat, who now has a personal vendetta against you. Would you like to do?
Uh, the bandolier was one use, right?
Was what? There's three concoctions on it.
Oh. Well, I'm going to try and throw a last one at him.
I will say for greater effect as well, you can throw the bandolier. So.
Yeah, just reflex. So, finesse.
Finesse, skirmish, wreck, whichever. All of those work.
Effect great.
It's greater effect, yes.
Okay.
If you're throwing the entire bandolier, so it's...
And no pushing myself. Thank you, please. Great.
Did you push yourself?
No.
It's as the bandolier clatters to the ground, he's able to, like, kind of learning from the last time, whatever it is, he is able to get a hand to it as he picks it up and just throws it back towards you. And you know now the force as the two of you are lifted, thrown to the ground as a decidedly large pothole now smoldering as dust and rains down on. That's for a level 1 harm because it's greater effect. Unless you would like to resist or take heavy up.
No.
So it's a level 1 harm of as your ears ring and your vision sort of swims for a moment, force of the impact. Level 1 harm of we'll do a mild concussion.
Oh.
So this is actually going to affect insight rather than... Are you back in? So with Squirrel somewhat escaping with the mystery woman, Nathan, you're aware of the ominous whispers encroaching in ever closer. Squirrel and mystery woman disappear into side alley. Hit.
You cut out again.
Rapid explosion. 2 rapid explosions. Probably a minute or so apart. However, your own escape is now necessary. What would you like to do?
Alright, so I feel like okay, so just to confirm, I'm in an alley at the front. Behind me is obviously where the precinct was. In front of me is that blue coat with the dog that has now hunkered down.
He's been it was Squirrel went down another alleyway, shortly after which there was another now lies in the street. They've evidently dipped into another side alley as well.
Alright, well, I'm going to attempt to... So, just to confirm, the way in front of me is cleared, then?
At the moment, it seems to be that blue coat has gone off after a dog.
Alright, well then I'm gonna start making my way, very quickly forward then.
Maybe that check.
Ooh. Alright. Guess I'll push myself here so I have a single die. Makes sense to me. Risky standard. bonus die 1. So I failed that.
As you walk out the end of the alleyway, the first thing that's going to meet you is big sort of blindsiding and using the shadow is going to be a blue coat billy club.
All right. So
Would you like to take armor or resist?
I'm going to resist, and I'm finally going to use our first usage of the ability exactly as planned.
Absolutely. Please do. It's been there for how long?
So Nathan understands he's not necessarily the most agile person or the stealthiest of people. So he knew that his escape was going to be a little bit more difficult, especially when it came to that. So he made sure to rig certain places where he could be ambushed and he wasn't sure if he could sneak by them. With, let's go ahead and check off the first thing on his bandolier.
I'm going to say before this, let's do that resist.
Okay. I can.
So prowess.
Yeah.
No stress, but unfortunately, you do take stress for the flashback.
Hey, that's fine, actually, in this case. So I would have, Nathan would have rigged the place up to, with smoke bombs to help cover his escape. So, with that being said, as soon as this blue coat attempts to swing, a smoke bomb goes off in his face. Nathan, obviously knowing the smoke bomb was there, is obviously going to either have it duck down so he doesn't get a mouth and eye full of smoke, or, you know.
How
much stress?
So,
and obviously an item.
I'd say 2 stress, but there's 1 harm as the it's more in the field, and it's more as the explodes out. This becomes like wild.
So I'm taking bruised, I'm guessing, because I didn't hear any of that.
I'm really sorry about this.
All right.
But look, as this guy's like flailing in the smoke.
And I'm assuming that's a less effect on prowess.
Prowess, yeah. You see him like choking. You hear him see the silhouette hazy as.
All right, so
half the time falling into the walls and like.
All right, so I'm gonna push my way through the smoke and get out of there.
Absolutely, and with that, as you push by him, and like there's a swipe as he feels like you like jump as lying in the rubble of the streets, the blue coat advances. You see him reach behind him into the and pull out one of the pepper box revolvers, snaps, checks that it's Squirrel. As he advances, he wants, shame on you, and snaps it back into place. What would you like to do?
Me?
No,
Okay.
Squirrel and Apatura.
I'm thinking about just going for it and running away as fast as I can.
Oh, I'm going to say it's desperate action. Desperate action, limited effects.
Okay. Still prowl is fine.
I'd say so.
I would say push yourself, but I see you
I
can't.
can't. I push myself to make the other guy explode, so I can't do that anymore.
As you turn and begin to run, 3 gunshots go off. 2 from behind you, and 1 you see the muzzle. As one of the ones behind you, you feel sudden, intense pain burn through your lower left-hand side of your abdomen. It's just a graze, but you can feel instantly the blood begins to flow. You feel like the cloth of that jacket begin to kind of cling to your side. And that's going to be, unless you would like to resist or take armor, heavy armor.
Mm-mm.
With gunshot wound.
It's a. Sorry, you got out.
Oh, it's level 3 harm of.
Level 3 harm of gunshot. You need to resist, and you're gonna trauma out here, probably. At this point, you might as well call for a flashback as well.
What kind? What kind of flashback?
Just how you expected that you would be shot.
I mean, you can take heavy armor, but
I don't think she has the load.
use 3. Yeah. Oh no! Oh no! You need to cross off 2. Yes. Yes, the 2. Like. Oh no! You haven't used those, so don't worry.
I can.
Yeah, you can use heavy armor. You've got to take all.
I will. I'm gonna use armor.
For a level 2 harm, as again you still feel that blood and shock, burning pain. It makes your head spin, but you're able to kind of level down. But you're a -1 prowess rolls.
Okay. So what do I write in the level 2?
So it's level 2. It's winged
Winged.
gunshot. Yeah, because it's just winged you. So it's the bullet's not lodged in. It's gone right through. It's now like.
Ouch.
And it's incredibly painful. Yeah, perfect. As you stumble like 1 foot, it's now just get further and further ahead. Nathan, these 3 gunshots that echo out. You certainly hear those.
Unfortunately, is this within eyesight of me? Because unfortunately, unless it's within eyesight of me, I can't do too much.
Would you like it to be? Do a fortune roll.
I feel like this is certainly tied to luck. This feels like I'm lucky enough to be in the same location as this going down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, then go ahead and make the fortune roll with cheaters.
Yes. So it's +1. What have you got? Yeah.
2 4s.
Close enough that one of them, it's one of the shot that you see it as it takes out the end of spray of brick dust into the air.
All right, so I guess I'm gonna check off another item in my bandolier. Now, this? The one guy that I see that shot the brick wall, essentially, is what I heard, or caused brick dust?
Yes. Yeah. So it's the one guy, and as you so you watch the brick dust kind of, and then the stumbling fall of your quarry and squirrel gate.
I am. I'm tossing the grenade towards this guy to clear the path for them.
Running away from him. So, but yes, maybe that.
Oh, okay. This is a grenade. I want to clear a path. I want to make sure that she doesn't get shot at. Can I use wreck? Because even if it doesn't necessarily hit him, it'll destroy something and make him have to duck and get out of the way.
Go for it.
Hmm?
Go for it.
Okay. Is there a devil's bargain?
There usually is, so either +1 to your roll or greater effect, up to you. However, if it goes well, he will die, which is, of course, going to add to the heat.
I'll take great effect. No bonus die. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Here we go. Success with a complication, I'll take it. But it's great effect, so.
Yes. There is a moment where you see him, there's a click as the jam curse under his breath, snaps it and begins toying with it. And then you see him, he just kind of looks up as dunk, dunk, dunk. And a grenade rolls to stop it. He's got just enough time to look up and go, oh.
And obviously, Nathan's doing this kind of on the move, so he's, obviously still on his way, just trying to help cover.
As behind you, you hear the.
You cut out.
As running away, the two of you further straight behind you hear windows rattle with the explosion. Birds once again take flight, calling in the some unsettled air. And you're aware of your compatriot firing the second shot, who is now just.
And I think this is at the time that Nathan knows what's coming. There's no way he would not recognize the crematorium bells.
Oh yeah, it's.
So I'm actually going to mark gadget here.
I'm going to say a black feather of a desiccated crow sort of floats down.
I am going to mark off gadget at this point because I feel like it's somewhat appropriate in this case because it's technically a gadget, but it's one that he technically always has on him. He just doesn't use it very often. He pulls out his broken mask and dons it, hopefully just hoping that the crow gets confused just enough, but he's still putting it on, throwing up his coat as much as possible as he as he dons the Spirit Warden mask and continues to book it, hoping it'll maybe just buy a little bit of confusion. Should the crow report back?
They stay in the area where there's
Yeah, of
death.
course.
As you, I'm going to say both of you just give me that final roll. Escape the immediate carnage.
Yep.
Prowl is good. Finesse is.
Okay, actually, can I? Because I've wrecked this area to entice spirits into it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll a tune to see if I can't convince them to rile things up to help cover my escape?
Yeah, go for it.
Right. Risky, standard. Do I want to push myself?
Lottie, what's your final roll as your do or die getaway?
Final prowl roll, I think.
Okay.
Still riskiest and standard.
No,
I one
risky standard, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I will go ahead and push myself.
Mm-hmm.
With that one extra die. I didn't need to, but 5.
See how Apatura does on.
The 2.
Oh, you already did it, the 2.
Yeah,
Oh.
I have a 2.
As the dust clears, you're aware of a similarly masked figure emerging out of and the last thing that you see before making good on escape is
You cut out.
the head of the masked figure ahead of you. The head cocks to one side and very aware that you have been seen and acknowledged, and you can't help by this. As Nathan, making good your own leave as you hear the mingle, hearing the voices that coalesce, almost whispers in out of the nothingness is defined as you draw in that energy from the ghost field, and as you step away, you can't help but feel when you leave, something follows you.
You have just finished listening to this week's episode of Blades in the Dark, What Happens in the Dusk, part of the Domain Gaming, written and told by Wyverian and Livespark. A special thanks to you, the listener, and if you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. As always, comments are welcome. Until the next chapter, remember the first rule of a con. Offer them everything for nothing, and give them nothing for everything.